Like I don't understand why. Like, just give up already. I don't get it.
Seriously. Asia's not going to win it this year. I would bet
No.
money on it.
If it's game time, we the ones who connect. X-Rated Sports Network, where the hot takes live and the truth get checked. East Coast talk, West Coast swagger. Stats on the board, yeah, the debate get louder. No filter talk, yeah, we calling the play. If it's sports conversation, we leading the way. From the hardwood to the gridiron plays, breaking every matchup, every headline debate. X-Rated Sports Network. Yeah, remember the name. Yeah. Welcome to the X-Rated Sports Network, where the takes get loud.
We are live, ladies and gentlemen. It is Beyond the Surface on the X-Rated Sports Network. Rick Kamla, Ashley Neville, Dwight Walton. We've got Gary Sheffield Jr. He is the co-host of the Yankees Unloaded podcast. He's also an NBA hoophead, NBA analyst, NBA hot take artist. So we're going to talk a lot of NBA with him. Haven't caught up with him in maybe a couple of years. Great guy, great mind. You guys are really going to enjoy hanging out with him. One at a time here. Ashley, let's check in. What's going on before we dive into our LeBron topic here? How's everything in Ashley's world?
Whoa, it's a lot. It's a lot. I'm going to have to consider moving some things around and not doing everything I set out to do. Yeah, it's been I've been really busy and mentally drained. So I'm debating if I can get back on stage in October, if I need to push it out a little bit longer, just because it's been taking over my life. So yeah, there's just a lot with the new dog, and I want to be able to tend to him more so than myself right now. He's a little bit more important and comes first in my life. So yeah, It's a lot right now.
Mommy mode. Okay, I see what's going on. What's up, Dwight? How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm just this is a pretty relaxing mode for me right now. I am still reffing a ton of rec league games. I was just on a phone call for a couple of games this weekend. I'm going to Quebec City on Monday, as Canada is going to be playing against Argentina in a World Cup qualifier. First time I think that a game is going to be in Quebec City. The NBA is also going to be in Quebec City on October 3rd. The Miami Heat are playing against the Toronto Raptors. So it's a pretty big deal for our province of Quebec here in Canada over the next couple of months or so. So a lot of big-time events. Canada is playing Panama in Panama City tonight. We are currently ranked 5th in the world. Argentina is 8th. Panama City is 56th. But we are playing in Panama. So if anybody knows anything about international basketball, if you're playing in a foreign country, in their environment, whether or not you think you should blow a team out, a different environment brings up a whole different set of circumstances. So we should win tonight, but if it's not a blowout, don't be surprised. We don't have our best roster. It's not an excuse. We still have plenty of firepower, but we should win these next 2 games, well, hopefully, and then qualify for the World Cup next summer in Qatar. Looking very much forward to that.
Love it. The ladies are going to their World Cup here very, very soon. A few days left until the World Cup break, and then they got about a week left of the regular season, then the playoffs. It's all going to play out in mid to late September when they get back to work, but it'll be the World Cup break for the ladies here in a few days. We will talk a little dub later on in the show. We begin with LeBron James. Have you heard he's a Philadelphia 76er? Is LeBron James the GOAT with a ring in Philly? Okay. Does a Philly ring make LeBron the GOAT? Say it however you want. Okay. If he gets one for the thumb, does LeBron become the GOAT? Some of you may be saying, wait a second, he's already my GOAT, which is fine. I disagree, but it is debatable. But that's the combo right here. If LeBron, and it could be this year, could be next year, right? It doesn't have to be this year. But if he wins a 5th ring in Philly, Is he the GOAT? Does he pass Jordan? Does he pass Kareem if you have Kareem that high? And if you don't, you haven't, in my opinion, done enough research, and maybe you're just kind of stuck in 1990 to today. But wake up, okay? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, okay? Wake up. Anyway, my answer to this, guys, is yes. If LeBron James wins a 5th ring, and it could be in Philly, it could be in Milwaukee, it could be in Sacramento, okay? If he gets ring number 5, yes, he will vault up to number 1 for me. Right now, I'm not going to tell you because next we're going to do our top 5 ranking, okay? LeBron's in my top 5. You'll soon find out where I have him. But yes, he would be the GOAT with a 5th ring. LeBron is already the GOAT for 7 things. 7. Okay, check this out. Scoring points in the NBA, GOAT. Counting numbers, GOAT. Longevity, GOAT. Durability, GOAT. Sustainability, GOAT. Nobody's been this good this deep in their career, and it's not even close. Most dudes completely crater. And I'm talking about Duncan, Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Dirk, all like the gods of NBA basketball. They all cratered late in their career. Not LeBron. Sustainability, I think I just said that. All-around play, okay? He's the best all-around player of all time. And player empowerment. 7 GOAT things already. Guys, back in 2020, when LeBron won ring number 4, me and Antonio Daniels talked about this on Sirius XM NBA radio. Is LeBron the GOAT? What does this do for him with the GOAT? Blah, 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 blah. I said, now it gets interesting. I mean, think about it. When LeBron had 3 rings and Jordan has 6 and Kareem has 6, it's not even a conversation. It's not, okay? Boom, he gets to 4. A lot of people said he's the GOAT. I didn't. I'm going to maintain take integrity here. At the time, I said, now it gets interesting. 1 more, and LeBron is the GOAT. So to me, LeBron can't be the GOAT, cannot be the GOAT when he trails Michael Jordan and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar by 2 rings, okay? And MJ has 5 MVPs. LeBron has 4. Kareem has 6 MVPs, okay? LeBron has 4. And you say, well, LeBron has way better stats. No, he doesn't. He has better stats, but he doesn't have way better stats. This is Jordan and Kareem we're talking about here, okay? They have amazing statistics. If LeBron can win ring number 5 with a 4th different team at the age of 42, guys, or 43 if it happens next year, he ends this. Okay, but he's got to do that. And that's the finish line for me. LeBron, the course is set. Now go get it done. I'll be out here cheering for you, man. Ashley Neville, if LeBron James delivers a ring to Philly, a 5th ring for himself, does he vault to becoming the GOAT?
He has the best statistical argument, I think, and in terms of longevity. But I understand if people don't want to say LeBron's the GOAT regardless. Like there's Michael Jordan stands forever, right? And I just want to take a look at Michael Jordan real quick is the fact that all 6 times he went to the finals, he won. As you mentioned, 5 MVPs, not to mention Defensive Player of the Year, and 9-time All Defensive First Team, not to mention career 30 points per game. Now, when you could talk about LeBron as an all-around player, but I also look at Michael Jordan to be an even better defender when it's all said and done. But when it comes to LeBron, I think it's a lot harder to win multiple championships with multiple teams. That's different franchises, different culture, different fan bases, right? I think it's a lot harder than what Michael Jordan had to do with essentially being with the same organization, same team. Yeah, they moved some things around, but the core was essentially the same. The coach was the same. So when we take a look at LeBron to go a step further, he is the first player in NBA history to win 3 finals MVPs with 3 different organizations. Now, if he should win 4 championships with 4 different organizations, he will become the first NBA player to do so. Now, we also take a look at, as you mentioned, all the categories he already leads in the GOAT conversation. All-time leading scorer. He is the only player to be in the 10,000, 10,000, 10,000 club with 43,440 points, 12,095 rebounds, 12,016 assists, Nobody else even has a combination of 10 rebounds and 10 assists. So a 4-time MVP, 4-time finals MVP, 22-time All-Star, 21-time All-NBA selection. And he's been to 10 NBA finals and had an insane stretch of 8 consecutive finals from 2011 to 2018. And I mean, I could keep going on here. This is remarkable what LeBron James has been able to do in his career. And I hate when people say, oh, well, if Michael Jordan stayed longer, he would have been able to do that too. No, he wouldn't have. To me, when you take a look at LeBron, he is a unique specimen, alien, if you will. We've never seen anything like it. And as you mentioned, longevity, durability, being able to keep his body healthy as long as he has. And if he should win another championship, we're talking about a 42-year-old player. So listen, I understand both arguments. You take a look at LeBron, I think statistically, longevity, he got it. But Jordan has the dominance argument because what he was able to do in the 90s against some of the toughest defenders in the world at the time is, to me, remarkable. So it could go hand in hand, but I think what LeBron is doing, and if he should be, again, winning another championship with a fourth organization, you got to hand him his flowers. And to me, you got to give him the GOAT title. You have to.
Okay, solid buildup right there. Nice crescendo, nice cap off, because you kind of kept going in Jordan dominance, and I was like, where?
And that's the point, Rick. And that's the point.
1A, it's like 1A, 1B. And like with LeBron, it's like, what more can you ask? What more can you ask him to do? Like, he's done everything.
I can ask one more thing. Win one more ring. You said, what more can you ask? I have one more ask. LeBron, win one more ring. There is a rumor that a man named B-Dot is in the green room. Let's get him out of the green room and get him on the show. What
up, Dot?
What up? How you doing, bro?
How y'all doing?
Hi.
Chilling. How are you doing? Get us caught up in the whirlwind that is the life of B-Dot. Well, what's going on with you right now, bro?
I mean, same old, just DJing, hooping, taking care of the family. You know, ain't nothing too crazy. It's always just biscuits and gravy over here.
I love it. Well, let's get you cranked up, man. If LeBron wins a 5th ring in Philly, B-Dot, either this year, next year, whenever, if he gets a 5th ring, it could be in Milwaukee or Sacramento, okay? If LeBron gets a 5th ring, does he become your GOAT?
Man, I like how Ashley put it, man. It's like 1A and 1B, but it's like, what career would you want to choose? Would you want to win 6 rings with one team or be able to win 4 rings with 4 different organizations? Now that's crazy. Like, that's OD, especially 2 of those teams, 2 of those organizations, they hadn't won a ring in over 30 years. And talking about Cleveland, and if he bring one to Philly, and these are that'd be insane, man. Y'all put me. I mean, at the end of the day, MJ won 6 of them things, man. 6. He won 3, took a smoke break, and came back and won 3 more. And won 3 more, man. Like my mom's friends called me the other day. He was with all his boys. He was like, "Yo, B, who your GOAT, Jordan or MJ? I mean, MJ or LeBron?" I'm like, man, you gotta go with Jordan. He was like, when Jordan was playing, and this is an old head, he was like, Jordan's playing against plumbers, this, and all the people he named were all-stars. He was like, man, they was smoking and drinking at halftime, and they come back and play. And I'm like, all right, let's put this in perspective. James Harden was averaging 45 points in 12 game span, that historic season he had. James, my dog. James was in the club after them Friday games, lit, turned. And then came back that following week, Monday, Tuesday, and put 45 on somebody's head. So if we going to talk about a day and an age where players are better or not better than one another, we can also make the argument for this day and age of James Harden, and he's a great player. But if he's able to go to the club, get lit, do this, blah, 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 and then come back out and give you 45, does that speak to his work ethic or does it speak to the level of competition in today's game? So you can't say Jordan playing against plumbers and all this, and they were smoking and all that, man. All these NBA players get smacked and lit after the game, outside of the greats, and come back and still put up numbers. So, I mean, I think it'll be a hell of an achievement if Bron does win a ring in Philly, but I still got to give that slight edge to Jordan. Like Ashley said, it got to be 1A, 1B, like just because. But and I hate that people fought Bron for his longevity. Like who wouldn't want to continue to be able to play at a high level until their 25th year in the league? So I'm still giving it to Jordan. Slight edge. Now if Bron get that 6th ring. If he get that 6th ring, then we right there. It's right there. We neck and neck. But till that 6th ring, I'm gonna have to just continue to stay with Jordan.
But he's got his finish line, okay? B-Dot has his finish line for LeBron. The key is not to move the finish line, so he's got to get 6. I say 5. Ash says 5, and then he's the GOAT. All right, so Dwight, come on in here. You're kind of going to determine the consensus here. If LeBron gets a 5th ring, does he become your GOAT?
As you guys know, I'm on several group chats, and I have this conversation on a daily basis. And I'm getting tired of it because a lot of times I just say things to stir the pot to get people going. Because I will, full disclosure here, I go back and forth on this. One day for me, it's MJ. The next day, it's LeBron. And then when I get perturbed is when people have to start using LeBron's longevity against him. They turn it into a negative. Anytime you can be consistently great for 23 years and counting, you could also say that LeBron, if you broke his career into 4 6-year quadrants, he's had 4 separate Hall of Fame careers, and it's still going to be this relevant at 41 years old, will be 42 in December. And to have the league on pause, having the NBA's commissioner, Adam Silver, basically asking him to make a decision already so they can put the television schedule out. That speaks to how great he still is. I understand that the NBA is a bottom line business, and to let you know also that LeBron, as much as we tried to give the face of the league to Nikola Jokic, to Anthony Edwards, to Giannis Antetokounmpo, to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and now currently Victor Wembanyama, and Steph Curry, the reality is LeBron James is still the face of the NBA. The television schedule dictates that he's still the face of the NBA, and he's joining a team that even after the Jaylen Brown acquisition, the odds makers weren't even considering the Sixers to be a championship contender. They still had the Boston Celtics as higher favorites than the Sixers until LeBron James signed with them. And this is an obvious statement from me. The only reason we're having this discussion as to who's the GOAT, either Michael Jordan or LeBron James, is because Michael is 6-0 in the finals and LeBron is 4-6, right? He has a blemish on his record in 2011. He was awful against the Dallas Mavericks. That can't be taken away. That's the blemish on his record. People will still talk about that till the end of time. But Ashley also ran off the numbers, the statistics for Michael Jordan, the 9 times all defensive first teams, the defensive player of the year, the consistency of scoring 30 plus for a career, the dominance in the playoffs, the clutch shots that he's made in the playoffs. You can go back and forth with these 2 players. So it's difficult for me to say who the GOAT is at this time. But I will say, if LeBron James is a major factor in leading the Sixers to an NBA championship, especially in their first year together, which if you look at his past history, things don't go well in his first year with new rosters. So if he can pull that off this season with a team that hasn't won since 1983, I'd have to give LeBron the GOAT, man, because he's 6'8", 255, 260 pounds. He's been doing this for 23 years and counting. Really hasn't sustained a serious injury. Yes, he had that groin injury back in his first season with the Lakers when they were in fourth place in the Western Conference. Then he pulled his groin on that Christmas Day and was pretty much done for the rest of that season. Other than that, he has maintained health. He has maintained greatness. He is the marquee for every game that he plays in. And I tell people, this may sound funny to some, but I think he's the mentally toughest athlete to ever walk the face of the earth. I tell people, try to live LeBron James's life for one day. You'll want to give it up by noon of that same day because you won't be able to take it. He is taking criticism. There's pressure on him to be great all the time. Whenever he goes to a team, it's not making the playoffs. It's championship or bust. That's just the reality. That's how it is with LeBron James. To be this great, this long, for this amount of period of time, and to still be relevant, and to still be a championship contending piece to a puzzle, I go back and forth on this. But if he wins a fifth ring with a fourth different franchise, LeBron, to me, will officially supplant himself as the GOAT of basketball.
You see his pinky toes, Dwight? I wouldn't even want to walk in his shoes for 2 minutes. Them pinky toes, so listen. It's tough to be Bron.
It's crazy when listen. Michael Jordan himself said it in his documentary, The Last Dance. He retired the first time because he couldn't take the pressure. Imagine if Mike had played in the social media era where there's nothing but pressure. Could Mike have dealt with it? I'm sure he would have, because we all know who Michael Jordan is. But for him to admit on his documentary that he did a mental break speaks volumes to me. LeBron hasn't taken that break. He's been this great for this long, man. And to be 6'8", 250, and to do what he does is just incredible to me. It certainly sounds like I'm leaning towards LeBron as the GOAT right now. But if he gets a fifth ring, I think the conversation is over. Again, break his career up into 4 6-year quadrants. He's had 4 separate Hall of Fame careers and counting. That's how great he has been.
Can you imagine LeBron saying, I need 2 years off for a mental break? Can you imagine that? Everyone cries when LeBron's flopping and complaining to the refs, and LeBron's a crybaby.
Yes.
I didn't see LeBron take off 2 years. It's a very good point. Very good point. I'm going to use that on TikTok Live when people say that LeBron's a little baby. You know, I'm going to say, oh, what about Michael Jordan those 2 years when he needed to take off? Just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah, but I got to go to B-Dot here. B-Dot, are you buying that LeBron took 2 years off because the pressure was too much for him? Are you buying that?
Oh, nah, heck no. When nobody let him buy it. If Bron said that, it's a wrap. Oh, yeah, I told y'all that's why Jordan the GOAT. Bron needed a mental break. He had to go to Turkey. Get his hairline fixed. So I'm like, man, bro, let me think, bro, man. Yeah. It'll touch. Man, bring that foot back up again. Bring that foot back up again.
Listen, Mike, let's imagine. It was major news during that Knicks series when he was caught at the casino in Atlantic City. He still dropped 55 that next night. But the media scrutiny on him then, without social media, was crazy. Imagine if that happened now. Mm-hmm. It would be insane. Pure insanity.
Oh, it would. But to me, Dwight, you made a great point about LeBron being the GOAT of mental toughness. I don't perfectly agree with it. I think Michael Jordan is the GOAT of mental toughness in the history of sports. I don't think any football, hockey, tennis, I don't care. He's the greatest killer I've ever seen play any sport. And to be a killer to that degree, that's mental toughness and intimidation and all that other kind of stuff. But I don't know what it is, guys. I mean, there's theories and conspiracy theories and all this. Why did Jordan retire? And, Go look it up. I'm not going to get into it right now, especially the speculatively unsavory stuff. But I have a hard time buying that the greatest mental toughness athlete I've ever seen needed 2 years off because the pressure was getting to him. That feels like a mask for something else. Let's leave that alone and move on to another very spicy topic. And I want B-Dot to go first here. So we talked about, will LeBron become the GOAT with a 5th ring? Okay. Dwight, me, and Ashley say yes. Dot says no. I also want to query you badasses right here about your top 5 players all time, because I want to find out where you have LeBron right now. Okay. So one leads to the other. B-Dot, just run it down, dude. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we'll do our own little silos here. But Dot, give me your top 5 all time, starting at number 5.
Man, god dang, Rick. The greatest mental toughness athlete to me, by the way, going back real quick, is Serena Williams. But
that's fair.
5, right? Just
Not
because
bad
she
at
by
that.
herself.
Good point. Good point.
5?
She dealt with a lot. She dealt with a lot
Oh, yeah.
to get to where she
Can I go?
is.
Can I go 1 to 5?
Yeah. Knock yourself out.
Yeah, I can't think backwards. I went D2.
Okay, right. Yeah, give me the alphabet backwards, Dot, right now. Start with Z.
Yeah.
My bad. All right, go ahead.
I got Jordan at 1. I got Kobe at 2. Bron at 3. Kareem at 4. And Magic at 5.
Nice. Very interesting.
This is tough.
I'm gonna lose my cuss word. Like the Kareem thing is a super pet peeve for me. Like, okay, and like I'm just messing around with you guys. But all right, Doc goes Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, Kareem, Magic. That's my same.
And I'm gonna be honest. Magic and Tim is 5A and 5B. And we do not give Tim Duncan and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar the credit because they're big man and all that. Man, without them on a team, they wouldn't have won as many titles ever. David Robinson wasn't doing nothing until Tim not doing nothing. He wasn't successful in terms of winning these championships until Tim Duncan was added to that team. And we don't talk about Timmy enough. We don't give Timmy enough credit just because it's Timmy. But continue.
So super quick, there is a debate within the debate. Kobe versus Duncan. Kobe versus Duncan is a mind-splintering debate. They both have 5. Their resumes are incredible. They played against each other at the exact same time, constantly warring in playoff series and stuff. Kobe versus Duncan is a story that's not told enough. All right, Dwight Walton, give me your top 5 players all time.
Listen, at number 5, I've got 3 people that are just debating in my head, and 5 is either Larry Bird, Kobe Bryant, or Wilt Chamberlain. Those are my 3 at 5 that I can't. Wilt statistically, I think trumps everybody in the NBA. I think what he did
He's
over
the GOAT
his
of
career,
stats.
it's unbelievable. So at 5, there's a 5 A, B, and C between Wilt Chamberlain, Kobe Bryant, and Larry Bird. At number 4 is the best point guard of all time, Irvin Magic Johnson. At number 3, it is Lou Alcindor, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. At number 2, Lord help me. At number 2, it is Michael Jordan. And at number 1, it is LeBron James. LeBron James, again, statistically, longevity, sustained greatness, getting to the finals. Yes, he has a 4-6 record. Yes, I understand it. I get it. But to still be elite at 41, going on 42, and I've already said it, if he was willing to play 10 to 15 minutes per game. He could play until he's 50 years old and still have an impact on a team. I'm putting that also as a part of why I have LeBron as the GOAT right now. Because again, he's going to play 28 to 32 minutes this season, barring injury, still have a major impact with the Sixers this season and next. You're telling me that if he didn't go down to 12 to 18 minutes per game, he couldn't play until he was 50 and still be a major part of a roster? We ain't never seen anything like this, folks. He's 6'8", 260 pounds. He's a machine, man. He's my GOAT. Again, LeBron, Michael Jordan, Lou Alcindor / Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Irvin Magic Johnson, and take your pick at 5. Wilt Chamberlain, Kobe Bryant, or Larry Bird.
All right, we have the rarely used 5A, 5B, and 5C approach by Dwight Walton, who got really, really inventive with his top 5. Ashley, that's a tough act to follow. I asked for 5. He gave me 7, okay? But I love it. And I want to update you guys on something. I like to keep score of this stuff as we go. So I'm really curious here about where Bron and where Kareem are stacking up, okay? I told you I got this pet peeve about Kareem. So far, Kareem's got a 4th, a 3rd, and I'll give you mine last here. But Kareem right now, including me, I'll give you my, but so Bron is at 7, and you want the lower score. Kareem is at 9. Okay, so LeBron is, by our analysis here, ahead of Kareem. I want to see if Ashley has Kareem ahead of LeBron or if she has LeBron ahead of Kareem. That's what I'm really listening for here. So, Ash, unpack your top 5 all time.
Ooh, do you want me to go 5 to 1 or 1 to 5?
You call it.
You can go 3 to 5 and 2 to 1. However you want to do it, go.
No, I can't do that.
You can have A, B, C, and D too. If you want to go with an A, B, C, and D and trump Dwight, you can do that too.
Maybe the whole alphabet. Maybe I'll get all the way to Z. You never know. Number 5, I'm going to have Kobe Bryant at my number 5 spot. But if you want me to give you 3 extra, you could say Russell, Bird, Duncan. Fine. Okay. Then I got Magic, right? Johnson.
You said Russell, Westbrook?
No, Bill Russell.
Oh, my bad. Okay, my bad.
He knew that.
What?
But Dot knew that.
Okay.
Dot knew that. Come on.
Okay, number 4, unbelievable. Number 4 is Magic Johnson. Number 3, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Number 2, LeBron James. Number 1, Michael Jordan. And I have to, like Dwight said, I have gone in between saying LeBron is the GOAT, Michael's the GOAT, and you can make arguments for both. When you take a look at all these overall careers, the one thing that stands out to me is LeBron only has 4 championships. And the rest of these guys have 5 or 6. And I know that championships are a team sport, but those championships LeBron lost, he was a common denominator in those losses. So I'm taking a look at pure dominance, peak, and all of these guys stepped up when it mattered most to close it out, to win a championship. And to me, with Michael Jordan, nobody is better at his peak than he was. To me, he's built different. And as I mentioned, all the stats, the accolades, the 5 MVPs, 10 scoring titles, Defensive Player of the Year, 6 championships, 6 finals MVPs, 6-0 in the finals. That's unmatched. It's unmatched. And then you want to account for the era he played in, the defense he had to play against. And he still was manipulating everyone on the court, getting to his spots, hitting those clutch shots. It's unmatched. But yeah, I don't think Kareem Abdul-Jabbar gets the credit he deserves. You could argue him at 2. You could put him at 3. But overall, 19-time All-Star, 15-time All-NBA, 11-time All-NBA defense, both ends of the court, 6-time champion, 6-time MVPs, or 6 MVPs, still most MVPs in NBA history. So there's that. That's my top 5. Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Magic Johnson, Kobe Bryant.
All right. I love it. So
Ashley wins.
So she has Bron over Kareem. Ash, you and me have basically the same exact top 5 except for LeBron and Kareem. We have the same exact top 5, except we just toggle LeBron and Kareem. 5 for me is Kobe, GOAT meter of 8, 5 rings, 1 MVP, 2 finals MVPs. And the thing about Kobe, we talked about Jordan, 9-time first team all defense. Kobe, exact same stat. 12-time on the all defensive team. I'm trying to kind of go deeper in the stats as opposed to like the obvious ones. But number 4 for me is Magic Johnson, my favorite player of all time, brought me into the game of basketball. And I actually had the pleasure of telling him that to his face and saw him light up after I said that. Phenomenal, unforgettable moment for me. Great guy, by the way. I don't know him like personally, but being around Magic's kind of like being around Shaq. Their aura is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You're like, I haven't been around Beyonce or like, the Taylor Swift or like the really, really, really big superstars. I would imagine their auras are just like, whoa, they just suck all the oxygen out of the room. Magic's that type of guy. Shaq's that type of guy. Most impressive Magic Johnson stat. Okay, outside of all the normal stuff. Did you guys know that he led the league in steals twice? Did you guys know that Magic Johnson averaged 3.4 steals per game in his second year? That's an unbelievable number.
So Rick, to that stat right there, did Magic Johnson ever make any all defensive teams?
I look it up. I don't believe so.
I don't think that's so that stat that was a Magic stat you just said, right?
Correct.
And he never made any all defensive teams. Larry Bird made 3 at least in his career. And
Magic never made an all defensive team. Never did.
That is wild.
You are correct, sir. Yeah, I mean, all of his other greatness probably kind of masked what he was doing on the defensive end, but just to shut down the point guard GOAT debate, because it's not a debate. All these young fellas and young ladies want to make it's not a debate. Shh, just sit down. Just you're making yourself look foolish here. Okay, check this out. Steph Curry has played 17 years. He will play year 18 this year. Magic played 13. Steph played 4 more years than Magic right now. Okay. Magic obviously lost 4 years to HIV. Okay. So those 4 years, Curry's had those 4 years. He still has not passed Magic as the go-to point guard. Okay. Shh. Shut it down. Number 3, LeBron James, GOAT meter of 12, 4 rings, 4 MVPs, 4 finals MVPs. Check out this stat, guys. LeBron James has 5,053 more points than Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Let that sink in for a minute. He's got 5,000 more points than Kareem. Guys, 20 years ago, early in LeBron's career, 17 years ago, 15 years ago, I said on NBA TV, LeBron James is going to pass Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for the most points in NBA history. They almost fired me. I'm not kidding. The producer was like, you really want to go to the air with that? You feel good about that? I'm not making this up. They thought I was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, okay? I said back in the day, LeBron's like 5, 6, 7 years in. I don't know. And I said, he's scoring 30 a game or whatever it was. I'm like, this dude's passing Kareem. I actually did the math, presented the math on the air. Okay. And I said, Bron's going to have to play till he's, 40, 39, whatever, which he has. Boom. He's 5,000 more points than Kareem. 38,387. Famous number. Not anymore. That's Kareem's total. 38,387 stood for 38 years. Okay. This is insanity. LeBron's at 43,000 points and counting. Might get to 50. Kareem, number 2, GOAT meter of 14. Ash gave you the stats, but the one thing everybody forgets, 6 MVPs. Okay, you know the 6 rings and only 2 finals MVPs. A little weird there, but 14 is his GOAT meter. And I just gave you a cool stat on him. 38 years he held the record for most points. MJ's number 1, GOAT meter of 17. 17. 6 rings, 5 MVPs, 6 finals MVPs. Wow. Okay. And the most impressive stat for me, outside of him being a billionaire, is Michael Jordan won 10 scoring titles. Think about that. A guy wins 1 scoring title. It's like winning an individual championship. He has 10 of them. Wilt, the greatest stat guy of all time, has 7 scoring titles. Mike has 10. It's ridiculous. So when you aggregate,
and was criticized
Dwight.
and was criticized for it. Remember, early on in his career, the knock on Mike was no scoring leader has ever won an NBA championship. So he was perceived to be a ball hog. Let's just call it as it is. Didn't make his teammates better. He was only out there to be a Showtime player and to score the basketball. So he had to overcome that as well. So Mike overcame a lot. Also, and I want to go back to Magic Johnson for this very important statistic. You said it, Rick. He played 13 seasons in the NBA. He got to the finals 9 of those 13 seasons, was 5-4 in the NBA finals. Magic epitomized winning. I know he had 4 losses, but wherever he went, and he always said it, he's only about winning. When he was in high school, he was about winning. At Michigan State, he was about winning, won a national championship. Won the NBA championship in his first season as a rookie. We all know what he did in Game 6 with the 42, 15, and 7 stat line, replacing Kareem at center. But what cut his career short was the unfortunate disease that he contracted. It is what it is. We all know the story. But to get to the finals in the 9 seasons of his 13-year career and to be a 5-time champion and to be the best point guard of all time, that's Magic Johnson, man. Magic Johnson.
So when you aggregate it all, our top 5 is Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Magic Johnson, Kobe Bryant. Like if you aggregate it all, that's our top 5. MJ, Bron, Kareem, Magic, and Kobe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we are moving on. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about some current events in the NBA. Jonathan Kuminga to my Wolves. 2 years, $13 million player option on the 2nd year. Another contract year for Jonathan Kuminga. Shams Charania reports something very, very important. Kuminga will be a starter alongside Anthony Edwards, LaMelo Ball, Jaden McDaniels, and Rudy Gobert. And the very overpaid Ayo Dosunmu will be coming off the bench. Ayo, love you, not mad at you, get all the money you can. I thought the Wolves overspent on him, but that's just my personal opinion. All right, since it's my team, and I've been so passionate about Kuminga over the years and Steve Kerr throwing lightning bolts down on his career. Screw you, Steve Kerr. All right? No, hit me right on the chin. I'm here, bro. I'm here. I don't care. I mean, shoot, I'm not going to punch you like Jordan did. I would love Steve Kerr to punch me. I would sue the ish out of Steve Kerr. Come on, homie. Give me a pop right in the face. Anyway, will Kuminga finally break out in Minnesota? Will Kuminga finally break out? We've been waiting on it, right? Remember, this guy was a hot shot coming out in the draft, top 10 pick, okay? Yes. The answer is yes. Our wait is over. Unleashed, okay? He is finally going to be a full-time starter. This has never happened in his whole career. Never got a full shot in Golden State. Did he start games? Yeah. And he made one mistake, and Steve Kerr's like, the Phil Jackson whistle, come over here. Blah, 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 blah. Jonathan, and last year in Atlanta, Kuminga played well, did not start, okay? Kuminga has never averaged even close to 30 minutes. 26.3 is his career high in minutes. Are you kidding me right now? This dude's never gotten a full shot until now. He's on a team that really needs what he brings. Remember, Julius Randle, Naz Reid gone. They were desperate for a 4. Kuminga has a good chance to be the number 3 scorer over Jaden McDaniels because Jaden, of course, is their primary defender. And that takes away scoring, foul trouble, stuff like that. I'm projecting Kuminga this year to be like right at 30 minutes and be at 15 points and 7 rebounds, okay? He's going to score more than Gobert. I think he'll score slightly more than Jaden, and I think he'll be third behind Ant-Man and LaMelo Ball. All right? He's going to be motivated. He wanted 20 mil. Remember that? He got 6.5. Okay? And it's, like I said, a contract year. And I'll say this. If it doesn't happen for Jonathan Kuminga this year, and I really, really, really hope for this young fella that it does, I'm just going to have to shut up over here. Right? I am. Like, this is the opportunity of any landing spot in the NBA. This is the best spot for JK. So if it ain't going to happen this year, I got to move on to something else and a new crusade and a new campaign. All right. So JK, go get it done for my Wolves. But yes, I say the breakout is finally going to happen this year. Ashley Neville, you are next. Will Kuminga finally break out in Minnesota?
I guess it defines what we consider a breakout, right? Like, I don't think he's going to be here scoring 25 points, but like you said, I think he's going to make an impact, a two-way forward. But he's also going to get something that he never quite got under Steve Kerr, which is defined starting role and minutes. And I think playing with LaMelo Ball is huge for him because he's at his best when he's attacking the rim, cutting, getting out in transition, and he doesn't have to create everything himself when Ball can do that for him. So I think it's a great fit, as you mentioned. I'm hoping that he can use this as motivation to show the world, like, hey, I'm capable. I'm able to be here. I'm able to be in a starting role. And I'm able to put up buckets when needed. So I think it's a great fit for him. And I'm hoping he has a breakout year because I've been defending him too. But even when he's had some opportunities, like I've seen in playoffs, he's been a little up and down for me. So I'm not going to say I've been completely high on him. And I can maybe see a little bit of what Steve Kerr can see. But it's all about fit. It's all about opportunity. It's all about minutes. He's only 23 years old. So do I think he'll have a breakout year? I don't know if I'd use the word breakout, but I think he'll make an impact in Minnesota.
Okay. Kind of parsing the word a little bit there. I'm ready to say full breakout. She's not. Dwight Walton, you're next here on Kuminga. Finally breaking out?
Again, I'm on many group chats, and Jonathan Kuminga comes up a lot as well. And I've always compared him to the Thompson twins, Amen with Houston and Asar with Detroit. And if Kuminga is given the same opportunities that those two players have been given, being allowed to be rookies or be young players, and to be able to have major roles in a rotation to where they can make mistakes and play through those mistakes, not consistently looking over their shoulders to see if their head coach, whether it be Rick Celebrini or Steve Kerr or last year Quinn Snyder, to sub him out after making a mistake. I think if given the proper opportunity, which he will get as a starter with the Minnesota Timberwolves, this will be a breakout season for Jonathan Kuminga because you're going to see him be able to play through those mistakes. He's going to be a more consistent scorer / shooter from distance because he'll be able to miss a shot or two and to still be confident enough on the offensive end. He's athletic. He is more than competent defensively. You will see the full repertoire in its entirety finally on a team that's in championship contention where he will have major rotation minutes and can play through his mistakes. So simply based on that, this will be a breakout season for Jonathan Kuminga.
Dot, how about you?
Like Ashley said, one thing he didn't have in Golden State was opportunity. So, I mean, of course he's going to have a breakout year. This is the only year that he's actually going to get, at least 30 minutes plus. So his stats have to be better than they have in the past. If not, then the past 5-6 years, Steve Kerr has been proving us wrong the whole time. He's not that good of a player or that great of a player. So I'm wishing and hoping that he has a great year. I think he will. I think they're going to be one of the best fast break teams in the NBA if they play to their strengths. When you have 6'8" Jaden McDaniels, you have 6'8" Kuminga, you have LaMelo, who is actually a true point guard, and you have the athletic Anthony Davis, and you have Anthony Edwards. You have a rear runner like Gobert. As long as he's able to make layups and make dunks. So all in all, I think Kuminga will have a breakout year in Minnesota. I mean, he has no choice but to.
All right, Dot, I want to keep you going here. I want to stay on the Minnesota thing. Again, a 1 minute clock here. How much better are the Wolves with Kuminga? In other words, like, are you moving them up the standings a little bit? Is this a needle mover like that? Are the Wolves going to win 5 more games or 7 more games and maybe go from 6 to 4? Like, however you look at that. But how much better are the Wolves with Jonathan Kuminga? Dot, you first.
I think they're pretty much better. I don't want to say, a crazy leap. They got younger. They got a little bit more versatile because, Julius Randle is usually a one-way workhorse. He disappeared in the playoffs. I think Kuminga will be able to get those little different intangibles, loose balls, or he'll be able to not just be stagnant in the playoffs like Julius Randle was, just because he can do a little bit more. Dante coming back healthy, Bones Highland. They got a decent bench, Io. So I think they're slightly better. I don't want to say so much crazy because they did beat some great teams. They knocked out Jokic. They knocked out KD and them boys, some years back. So if we're going back to them, but I think they got younger, they got more athletic, they got faster, able to switch everything on defense. That defense is going to really be where there is going to be their mark for this season. So I think they got slightly better, nothing crazy though.
Okay. Nothing crazy though. Dwight, how much better did the Wolves get? I don't think
it's championship or bust.
Understood. I agree.
Okay. So this is a tricky question to respond to because they had to give to get. They are lacking a power forward right now. If we truly believe that Jaden McDaniels is the answer at power forward over Julius Randle and Naz Reid, then we can have a discussion about this team being better. Did they get more athletic to where the NBA is trending towards today? Absolutely. In order to compete for a championship, you need to be at premium, elite on the wing. And they definitely have that with LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards, Ayo Dosunmu, and now Jonathan Kuminga. And you throw Jaden McDaniels into that mix. Rudy Gobert, whether we like him or not, he is a positive. He's a winning player in terms of defensive efficiency. He's not going to be a 20-10 guy, but the numbers are staggering in a positive way in terms of his impact defensively for a championship contender. You can't dispute that. Those are in the numbers. My only question for the Wolves, what are they going to do at the power forward position? So we will see if losing Naz Reid and Julius Randle and gaining LaMelo Ball and Jonathan Kuminga, if that offsets their loss at the power forward. Do I think they'll be better? They're much improved where it needs to be most, and that's on the perimeter.
All right. Ash, how much better are the Wolfies with Jonathan Kuminga?
Well, he definitely, like you guys all said, brings athleticism, another downhill scorer. But I really think that the ceiling was raised when they got LaMelo Ball. I think, to me, that was the biggest difference maker. Kuminga's more of this wild card. But as you guys all mentioned as well, you got rid of Julius Randle and Naz Reid. And I think both of them, you could say Julius went ghost in the playoffs, but I've also seen Jonathan Kuminga do the same. So essentially, Jonathan Kuminga still has to prove himself to me to show that he could step up in big moments, especially in the playoffs in the Western Conference. Very tough conference to win in. But as you guys all mentioned too, last year Minnesota played well, and they beat some really good teams with the team that they had. And I think getting rid of Naz Reid, to me, was, I didn't want to see it, but you had to give to get. So am I going to say they got better? I don't know. I think with LaMelo Ball, they already got better because you got someone who could initiate the offense, someone that other guys can kind of play off of. And I think that's what they really needed. But in terms of better, that's yet to be seen. So as of right now, I'm going to say no.
Very, very interesting. I thought, I told you guys, I didn't like the LaMelo Ball trade. I told you guys that. I'm not a LaMelo Ball believer. I'm here for him to prove me wrong. He's wearing my uniform now, so I'm going to be rooting for him. But, you're giving up all this stuff. You're right, though. You got to give to get. So I thought they got a little worse with the LaMelo Ball trade, actually, like more unstable, more wobbly, but granted more upside, but also a lower possible floor. So here's my answer to this, and it's a relatively short one. To me, my Wolves are significantly better with Jonathan Kuminga. I had the Wolves at number 6 in the West before this move. Now I have leapfrogged them up over Portland, who just lost Shaedon Sharpe for, 6 months with a meniscus deal. But I got the Wolves now at number 5. San Antonio, OKC, Houston, Denver, bam, then Minnesota. Getting Kuminga, I think, ensures, barring a ball injury, that Minnesota will not be in the play-in tournament, okay? But before getting Kuminga really, really weak at the power forward spot, I was like, they may fall into the play-in tournament. Now that they have Kuminga, that ain't going to happen. They have a really badass starting 5 right now, and Ayo might win 6th man of the year. All right, let's transition. We have Gary Sheffield Jr. coming on here, and he is the co-host of Yankees Unloaded. You guys want to talk a little baseball with him? You can. But he's very, very into the NBA as well. I've had many NBA conversations on Mad Dog Sports Radio with him. So we'll have Gary on here hopefully in just a little bit. Next topic, more impact. Klay Thompson to Miami or DeMar DeRozan to Denver, okay? One versus the other. Who's going to have more impact on their new team? And if I'm getting a chagrin from Dwight, bullseye. We've nailed it, baby. All right, Klay Thompson's going to get bought out by the Mavs, clear waivers, blah, blah, blah. 2 years, $13 million with the Miami Heat. Shams is all over that. Chris Haynes, good scoop, reports that DeMar DeRozan intends to sign with the Nuggets. Dwight Walton. This is like the kid that's moving in class while the teacher's talking, and it just gets the attention. Bam, teacher's automatically going to that kid first with a question, whether he or she wants it or not. So Dwight Walton, again, 60-second clock here. Klay Thompson to Miami or DeMar DeRozan to Denver, more impact, sir?
This is a very strategic and good question, Rick. Klay Thompson brings to the Miami Heat what that roster desperately needs. Now, if you've been following the NBA over the last couple of years, we have to understand, we have to give credit where credit is due. Davion Mitchell shot 41% from 3 last season. Andrew Wiggins shot 40% from 3 last season. What was the major question after the Heat acquired Giannis Antetokounmpo? Where were they going to get shooting from? They went out and acquired Tim Hardaway Jr., and they acquired Klay Thompson. There's also Pelle Larsson on the Heat. There are other players on the Heat that are above 35% shooting from 3. Klay Thompson is a major acquisition because he'll be able to spread the floor. If we're looking at Klay Thompson in his totality, he is no longer the defensive player that he once was. Mainly, it's because, yes, attrition is happening. Injuries have occurred. So he doesn't have the dexterity nor the lateral quickness that he once had. But he's still a pretty good defensive player. All right? DeMar DeRozan will bring scoring to the Denver Nuggets if he's willing to come off of the bench and to eat against second units. Is he penciled in to be a starter currently with the Nuggets? I don't think so as of right now. So in terms of bench productivity, DeMar is definitely going to be an impact player for the Denver Nuggets. But I think Klay Thompson's acquisition for the Miami Heat, particularly in today's NBA, where three-point shooting is paramount, I think Klay will have more of an impact on the Heat than DeMar DeRozan will to the Denver Nuggets.
Very, very interesting. Dwight says Klay. We are getting Gary Sheffield Jr. ready right now. Dwight, before we bring on Gary, I want to ask you a question. How much baseball do you watch? Do you watch baseball every day? Do you watch it a couple times a week. I'm just curious because obviously Gary's huge into baseball. He can hear the show now, so we'll bring him in a second. How much baseball do you watch? I'm just curious.
So I played baseball. Okay. I played hockey for 10 years. I played baseball for 10 years, and basketball took over my life. And at the end of the seventh, and pretty much since the 8th grade in high school. But I do follow baseball quite a bit. I've got some of my friends who've told me up to this past 6 months to where I made the wrong career decision. A lot of them still say I should have played baseball over basketball. But listen, basketball has been good to me, so it is what it is. But do I watch baseball? Absolutely. I'm a huge Boston Red Sox fan, and that's why it's kind of cool to have Gary Sheffield Jr. on here, who's a Yankee podcaster. I want to ask him a question about the Red Sox. But do I follow baseball? Absolutely. Like I said, I'm a Boston Red Sox fan. I was obviously a Montreal Expos fan when they existed up until 2004. We'd love to have the Expos back, but I don't think that's going to happen either. But to answer your question, I'm a huge sports fan in general. Baseball is definitely on that list, particularly during the playoffs.
I want a Montreal Expos snapback white mesh hat. I want that hat.
If I can find that for you, if I can find that, I'll get that to you.
I appreciate that. The white mesh behind, not like the new era where it's
I know what you're talking about.
Like
Yeah.
Just a dope little Expos hat. I would rock that proudly around St. Pete. All right. And he just went black, Gary Sheffield Jr. So we should not bring him in. I'm a huge baseball guy too, Dwight. It's third for me. Basketball, then football, then baseball. But yeah, we're good to go. All right, so let's bring on Gary Sheffield Jr. right now. He is the co-host of Yankees Unloaded, fantastic podcast. There's my guy. Gary, haven't seen or caught up with you in a while. How you doing, man?
I know it's been crazy. I heard you guys are Red Sox fans now. What's going on?
No, that's me. That's me.
Unbelievable.
I know. I'm trying to get us off on a good foot here. Let me introduce the crew. So that's Dwight Walton to the far right, Canadian basketball legend. He played in the Olympics, Canadian national team for a long time overseas career. B-Dot wearing the Prize Picks hat, famous NBA impersonator. He's a comedian. He's an actor. He's a rapper. He's a DJ. He's a pro hooper, travels the world playing hoops. You remember his Russell Westbrook imitation, right? That went viral back in the day?
I do. Can he be a reliever? Our Yankees need a reliever.
I got you. I got the best Mariano Rivera. I get my impersonation.
I love it. And Ashley Neville to the far left, NBA reporter, phenomenal sports analyst, a proud member of our team, and a notable TikToker. She's big on TikTok, man. So this is the crew, man.
I might need some tips.
Bodybuilder too.
TikTok never worked out for me.
Bodybuilder too now.
Bodybuilder, yeah.
Okay.
Trying to hang in there.
Great to meet you.
It's nice to meet you.
I love it, man. So Gary, 2 questions, and then we'll go around the room here. The last time we talked, you had a brand new baby. All right. So is that true? Confirm that, because but how's that going? And it's your first, right? So how's being a new dad?
It's a lot easier now with the toddler. It's way better. The sleep's better. Everything about it's better. Yeah, just having a routine. That's all it's about. So as long as you have a routine, you're good. But I'll tell you this. Everyone's always like, when are you having kids? When are you having kids? They don't tell you how bad it is at the beginning. They never told me.
If they told you, you wouldn't have had the kid.
Okay? You're right. You're right.
Dude, that first 2 years is madness. The first 6 months, the wife's always worried about the baby dying in the sleep, and it's just this constant fight or flight. Anyway, I could go on. I've got 3 of them. All right. Sure. And then let's dive in. We started the show, Gary, with this. Okay. Is LeBron James your GOAT with a 5th ring? And obviously he's in Philly now. So does a Philly ring make LeBron the GOAT? Embedded in that, Gary, is LeBron already your GOAT? But if he gets number 5, would he vault all the way to the top for you?
Oh, I could have taken this interview in 2014. He was my GOAT since then.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And that's the thing is, I look at basketball, football, baseball, that championships are a team effort. It's about Steve Kerr just as, maybe not just as much, but when you have role guys and you have star players, I feel like it's just unfair in all these sports. Like, unless we're talking about like Nadal and Federer, and we're talking Tiger Woods, this isn't a one-on-one competition. This isn't and one basketball. This is a team sport. I like to give Phil Jackson credit. I like to give Michael Jordan credit. I don't like to do the whole one-on-one championship thing, because at that point, then is Bill Russell the GOAT? I never had Bill Russell as my greatest basketball player of all time. So, yeah, I feel like LeBron is the greatest basketball player I've ever watched play. And does he have all the championships he needs? Maybe not, but Braun's my GOAT.
I love the answer, man. I told y'all this guy could spit NBA all day.
I appreciate it.
All right, Dwight Walton, come on in here and make it a little ornery and make it a little rough in here. Might get a little AL Easty in here. Go ahead, Dwight.
That's exactly it. So Scheffler, first of all, Gary, thank you very much for coming onto our show today. Really appreciate it. Listen, I want to ask you about the Boston Red Sox. Was it as simple as them firing Alex Cora and going to Chad Tracy after a horrible start, and to have this remarkable 28-game turnaround over the last 62 days? Can you please explain? Listen, again, I follow the Red Sox. I'm happy they're in the position that they are right now, but I can't even explain as to what has happened over the last 2.5 months. Can you please explain? It can't be just going from Cora to Chad Tracy. Please explain.
No, because it makes Cora look bad, making it out to be just, let's get Cora out the building. Everything just starts to work. In a way, like when you fire a manager, and we saw the Philadelphia Phillies do the same thing. We see it all the time in hockey. They'll just get rid of a coach. And you saw with the Vegas Golden Knights, they're in the Stanley Cup final right away. I look at it like cleaning your kitchen, cleaning your house. Sometimes to be productive, like you just need a deep clean. And I felt like the Red Sox had all the tools to win, and they just, for whatever reason, they had all the talent. They just weren't getting it done. And Cora getting out the building, I felt like it was a way to say, okay, it's not the manager anymore. If it's not the manager, it's you guys. It's the players. And so I feel like having that conversation woke up the clubhouse. They were sleepwalking. And now they're dangerous.
And also, I want to speak to the landscape of baseball in general. As we all know, there is no salary cap in baseball, and as is the case across all of the sports in North America. When the major markets are relevant, the sport is better. That's understood.
Yep.
But when teams like the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Chicago Cubs, the Los Angeles Dodgers, when they can dominate the market and get any player that they want, regardless of salary, is that good for the sport? Does it make the other teams across Major League Baseball have to do their jobs better? Case in point, look at the Milwaukee Brewers this year. Look at the Tampa Bay Rays this year. They're two of the best teams in baseball, if not the two best teams in baseball. So I guess that's kind of making my question a little bit irrelevant here, but the major markets get to pick and choose who they want. Does baseball need a salary cap?
It's so difficult because it takes so many players to become a good baseball team, and it takes so much time to fix it. And that's the thing about the NFL. Like in the NFL, you can have a bad offensive line, sign a free agent here. Let me get a left tackle. Let me get a guard. We spend our first round pick, trade up. And before you know it, like we saw it with the Cincinnati Bengals, that you get Joe Burrow. They didn't go left tackle. They went receiver. And next thing you know, the team's good. Baseball is not really that way. It's more so of like Shohei Ohtani signs, but things dated prior to making this the right choice for Shohei Ohtani. And we got the small market winner before. Like we got Diamondbacks, Rangers. And you know who watched that? Nobody. Nobody saw that. And the very next year, we get Yankees-Dodgers, the series that everyone tells us is the worst thing in the world, to get the team who's spending all the money and the other team that's top 5 spending all the money. And that's the series everyone watched. And you know what? It was one of the worst series we ever saw. It was terrible baseball. But when it comes to growing the game, it was terrible. And when it comes to growing the game, these major markets, unfortunately, they carry this sport. It's not like football where the Cleveland Browns can go to the Super Bowl and you're like, oh, I feel much better about this. So it just happens to be one of those things where it's not fair, but it's the right thing for the game.
Love it, man. Love it. And it's one of those, it is what it is deals, too. Ashley Neville, come on in here with Gary Sheffield Jr.
Hello. So this is a fun fact that no one on the team even really knows about me. I grew up in Chicago, and baseball was actually my first sport that I watched and loved. And I bonded over that with my brother and my grandparents. So we used to go to Wrigley Field all the time, watch Cubs games, Sammy Sosa, Moises Alou, Alex Gonzalez, Mark Bellhorn, all those guys. I was at the Steve Bartman game. That was that was kind of like the turn of like, I'm not getting fully invested as a fan in sports anymore because I was at almost every home game. I was a devoted fan, and they were right there and just somehow blew it all away, right? And they ended up not making it to the World Series that year, and the team that they had played went to the World Series and won it. But I want to ask a little bit about the Cubs this year, because they have been, even though they're at the top of their standings, they have been extremely up and down. And I don't necessarily have confidence in them, as I feel like most Cubs fans don't. Where do you think they'll go in terms of how far in the playoffs? And do you think that Pete Crow Armstrong is a strong candidate for MVP?
Yes.
PCA is the MVP. It's not called Best Player in the World Award. I know that people want it to be that, and I get that. But when you're talking about being the most valuable player on the planet, no one's more valuable to their team than PCA. Nobody. And that also comes with how good are your teammates? Can your team deal without you? Can they plug and play? If Aaron Judge is hurt this year, and I think he's been every bit of an MVP. The Yankees are on pace to win 93 games. They won 94 games last year. So it kind of goes to show you take PCA off the Cubs, this team isn't above water. And so the fact that you're even saying this team has a chance, they don't have a chance without PCA roaming center field. I think the Cubs I don't want to say we should hold our breath about this team, but let's remember this Dodgers team, they were a toenail away from losing the World Series to a very hot Toronto Blue Jays team. Wouldn't surprise me at all. You run into a Milwaukee, you run into a Dodgers team. Yeah, disappointing series in Arizona for the Cubs, but I think they're going to be just fine. I do.
Ooh. Well, it's good. I mean, it's good to hear that from a baseball expert like you. I don't follow it as much, but I do keep up a little bit when I can. Basketball has taken over my life. So when I do get a chance to, like, I guess, shut it down or take a little bit of a break, I can't be glued to the TV for that many games when it comes to baseball. There's way too many games. And again, like it's so hard to determine because there's going to be stretches where, teams might go 0 for 6 or they might lose a series and then they might go on like a 10-game winning streak. Yeah. I think there was a team, what team was it? They went on like a 9-game winning streak and then they've lost a couple in a row. So it's just so up and down.
Well, the Boston Red Sox did that, right? Like, I think
my Red Sox won 15 in a row.
Yeah.
15 in a row.
Yeah. And then now they lose 2-3 games in a row and people are running shows of, is this the worst thing in the world? Are the Red Sox fake? Was this just a mirage? I get your point. You watch the NFL, if a team loses 3-4 weeks in a row, you're like, oh, this team's in trouble. But in baseball, you lose 10 in a row and you can be fine. So I get it. It's not for everyone. And sometimes, especially if you've got a lot on your plate and you say you watch basketball, you watch all these different sports, sometimes it's difficult to find the time.
Yeah. And then I just had one more question for you.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
We were talking about the lockout. Do you think this is maybe going to cause teams to like frantically want to sign players before, or do you think they're going to wait, or how do you think that's going to play out?
And I have no idea. You have to imagine it. some of these players, they opted for, let me just go into next year. And I get that from a business point of view. Maybe you didn't have the best year, but what's it mean? I mean, even if you're in this industry that we're in, right, you sign all these independent contracts and you don't know where you're going to work 2 years from now. And you knew that there was going to be a lockout from the media's perspective. It almost puts you in a position where you want to rush just to get a long-term deal under your belt, even if you take less money up front. I don't know how this is going to work out. I'm not sure what the agents are communicating, what works best for all these guys, but I know from my perspective, I like to have security. I like to know where my next check's coming from, even if it's not the biggest check. So if I'm an owner, maybe you can dangle a little carrot in front of some of these players and they'll take it before a lockout.
Love it. Thank you so much,
man.
Of course.
B-Dot, before you go back and forth here with Gary, I'm curious. Did you play baseball coming up, B-Dot? I know you've been a hooper forever, but did you play baseball coming up? I'm curious.
Yeah, baseball and soccer was my first two sports. Baseball, I played baseball till I was probably like 15, 16, and then it was always the coach's son this, the coach's son that. So I'm like, man, let me go play basketball. That's a game
it's
I
a lot of
love
politics in baseball. You'll never see it anywhere else. It's crazy.
It is, yeah. And I'm from Atlanta, so I'm a big fan of your father, and what he did for our organization. And I just wanted to ask, man, the Yankees, they still are the Yankees, but the Dodgers feel like the organization everybody is chasing now. Do you believe the Yankees are actually built to win another World Series in this current era? And is there a reason why all of these superstar players are preferring to play for the Dodgers? Do you think it's recency bias, or is it just too much pressure, to put on that Yankees jersey? Because I think some players feel like, if I have a bad 2 months, I'm about to get killed by the press.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Kyle Tucker's getting killed right now playing for the Dodgers.
Yes, he
probably
is.
thought he was just going to be able to hide in right field. No one would care. And I'm going to say this. You live in New York and you live in LA, you can tell me where you'd rather live. The weather's better. Taxes are terrible in both places. So once you start figuring out what's in it for me as an athlete, if I join this company, if I join this sports team, if I go play for the Pittsburgh Steelers, whoever that team is, if the team's in the running to win and they're more than likely to win, you can check that box. They also check the box of money. All of us here love money. So when people give you more money, you win. There's not going to be as much pressure. You're going to get a lot of credit. And if it doesn't go well, there's enough great players over here where we're just going to share the blame. Sometimes that's just the best situation once the ball gets rolling. So if you're going to be the Yankees and you want people to look at you the same way they do the Dodgers, you're going to have to go out and spend some money and bring players in and show that if you want to make the most money, sometimes you can't always look at the Dodgers. So that's on the Yankees, that the fact that they're not looked at as the big bad Yankees that spend all the money now.
Now, to add on that, the Yankees fan, they're very excited about George Lombard Jr. You watched and talked about him closely. Is he legitimately the real deal? And if so, if he really is he untouchable in a trade for an established star?
At this point, we've kind of, I feel like we've opened Pandora's box. We've already seen what George Lombard Jr. can be. I don't trade a player who's already proven he can be here. But I mean, at the same time, just to be fair, the Yankees traded Alfonso Soriano to get Alex Rodriguez. So I've seen crazier things. If Bobby Witt Jr. became available, if some other perennial all-star superstar comes available and you're like, you know what, I can see that guy in pinstripes. Only way I do it is with Lombard Jr. Then maybe we have that conversation. But I couldn't be happier. The guy's got all the intangibles. It runs in the family. He gets it. You're not going to give the kid money and his head gets too big. He's never seen money before. Sometimes you have to know the person you're investing in. And I feel like George Lombard Jr. above Anthony Volpe is a much better long-term investment for the Yankees.
No, I like George Lombard. He's too good. He looks like a Yankee. He fits the core. He got three uncles named Vinny.
Too good.
You feel me? That eat pizza every week. Like I'm very excited about this kid, man. Very, very.
Yeah.
And I know you say you guys need better relievers. So you think is that the one piece that is separating you guys from getting back to the World Series and actually winning the World Series is having legitimate relievers?
Yeah, it's more so the injuries, right? We lost Fernando Cruz just a couple days ago, tears his UCL. They're trying to figure out if a couple guys out of rotation are going to flex out to the bullpen. The bullpen's been fine all year, but they're overused. And for anyone who watches the Yankees, that's all they do. And Aaron Boone, as a manager, that's his style. Whether people agree with it or not, he's going to go to his bullpen early and often. And by the time you get to the postseason, you may have won 100 games, but what's the health of that bullpen look like? And you see the same thing with basketball. You see the same thing. If LeBron James is going in, they call it zero dark 30, zero dark 20,
Zero dark 30, yep.
Zero dark 30. He's trying to get his body ready for potentially a 7-game series 4 times in a row. And when you build your body's exhausted leading up to the end of the regular season, he's not ready to go. And I feel like the Yankees are setting themselves up to sprint through the finish and be exhausted by the time they get to the finish line. So if they can find guys for the bullpen, I think they'll be okay.
I got one more, Rick. I got one more.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Bring it.
Just a quick one. What is your honest opinion about Jazz Chisholm, and does he fit that Yankees personality? You know, his personality is we've never seen nothing like this before for New York Yankees. And he's a 2020 player every year. So I want to know your opinion about him, and is he valuable for the Yankees, or you think you can get somebody better or get more pieces in a trade for him, or
We've all been around someone like Jazz Chisholm. You don't have to be in sports to see this. Jazz Chisholm, they have that raw ability. They show up to school. They don't do the study guide. The teacher says you're going to really want to take this practice ACT. They crumple it up in their backpack and they don't take it out. And then they take the ACT and they get a good score, but it's not a great score. And you just want to shake them and say, you realize if you tested this certain way, or if you did this a certain way, we could send you to Dartmouth. We could send you to here. You have the ability to be great, and you're just squandering it doing the bare minimum. Jazz Chisholm to me is this too cool for school type of approach that doesn't smell like a Yankee to me. And I'm rooting for him, but the process is wrong. And I'm not sure why I watch it. I don't.
I appreciate that. I appreciate those takes. I had to ask. And tell him stop challenging every goddamn strike. Okay? Tell him stop doing that, all right? Goodness.
He doesn't know the zone.
Gary, do you think that that literally was my next question? Great segue, Dot. The ABS, not on your car, but the automated ball and strike challenge rule, is it going well? Do you like it? Would you tweak it? Would you throw it in the garbage? Seats. Where's Gary Sheffield Jr. with this one?
I feel like the ABS is great. I like it. And you know what? This is the best part about it. We can just say that now the focus isn't on the umpires. Now it's on the players. If you don't like the call, challenge it. And now at the end of games, like I run a daily podcast, and we used to say, I couldn't believe John today. His zone was terrible. But now we don't have those conversations. Even though you only get 2 challenges, you feel like if you have a problem, then challenge it. And if you challenge it and you end up being wrong, we end up blaming the player for not knowing what he's doing. So, I mean, we just talked about it. Hey, tell Jazz to lay off the challenge system in the strike zone. So the conversation switched from the umpire to Jazz. So I like it for that reason. We stopped making all the excuses.
Great point. All right. I want to know, did you cheer for the Knicks? Are you a Knicks fan? Did that championship mean anything to you?
Well, my audience at Yankees Unloaded forced me to cheer for him. So I was peer pressured. Yeah, I was peer pressured into watching him. And I even wore Knicks colors in I believe it was Game 5? Yeah. I wore Knicks colors in the final game when they won the championship. So yeah, I was rooting for the Knicks. If you're a basketball fan, and I was one of those bandwagon LeBron fans. Just to answer your question, I had the Miami Heat stickers all over my car and all that stuff. Yeah, but yeah, I was rooting for the Knicks because if you're a basketball fan and you don't like, and you're not a Celtics fan, or you're not maybe a Lakers fan, how can you not root for what happened with the Knicks? As much as I like Wemby and everything he's doing, Wemby's gonna have his day in the sun. He'll be fine.
All right, Dwight, come on in here.
Yeah. Going back to baseball, Chef, how do you feel about Jeffrey Yan's strikeout celebration? And what's the opinion across baseball in regards to that? Because I know how baseball players do not like to get shown up at all. And you could respond by throwing at somebody, by hitting somebody, by doing something. How do you feel, and what is the overriding opinion across baseball in regard to Jeffrey Yan and his strikeout celebration?
Sometimes you just have to have thicker skin. I get it. The old school fans just like act like you've been there before. But you know what? Before Michael Jackson, nobody was on a stage grabbing their crotch either. It's not sometimes it's not a negative thing, man. Like sometimes it's supposed to be fun. Someone's expressing themselves and it ends up looking a certain way. You just have to know the person, the individual. I'm cool with it. If it bothers other people, I understand why. He's jumping up, doing jumping jacks in the middle of the game. And sometimes he's going to embarrass himself, but I can let it go. As long as he's consistent with it, we'll see if he's jumping that same way when he's 35, because I have a feeling he's going to tear his groin, and then we'll see what he does.
Look, man.
Yeah.
Look, it is impressive. You're throwing smoke. You immediately bunny hop 3 feet into the air, and then as you land, you slap the ground. It's an incredibly athletic celebration. I mean, we got to give him that at least.
You have to. And we saw it with Bryce Harper. He came into the big leagues and he's running as hard as he can. Then all of a sudden he's this vet, and you just slow it down. That's naturally how it's going to be. But again, if he's still jumping like that, he'll choose to slow it down. I don't think anyone should hit anyone over it. I think I can let it go.
Are the Brewers good enough to finish the deal, Gary? Are they good enough? Listen, they've had the most consistent year in baseball up to this point. Are they good enough to finish the deal?
I think they are. The Dodgers are flawed enough to have the Brewers be good enough. I think Atlanta's good enough. There's teams out there that can put pressure on the Dodgers. And we can't forget, in 2024, they won the World Series anyway. The San Diego Padres had them on the brink. The Dodgers can be had, but you have to show up and play clean baseball. It's just that simple. The Dodgers are going to be more talented than you. That's fine. But to say that some of these teams like the Brewers don't have enough, no one's got anything for the Miz. There's not a pitcher in baseball that has the stuff that the Miz has. And if you're the Brewers, that tells you that 2 games of the series, of a 7-game series, should be yours. So if I'm the Brewers, they need one other arm to step up. And if they can do that, they can beat the Dodgers.
I would agree with that.
I just have one last question for Gary. Does anybody else have one last question they want to get in before I kind of wrap this up? We all good? All right. So, Gary, the topic that we're on right now that you were probably listening to a little bit when you were in the green room, we know that Klay Thompson's going to go to Miami. We know that DeMar DeRozan is going to go to Denver. Okay, so which of those is going to have more impact? Klay in Miami or DeMar out there in Denver?
I think it's DeMar in Denver. There's actually one thing that I really care about with the Denver Nuggets is the minutes without Jokic. Who's going to control the ball? And they always talk about a point guard, but sometimes you don't really need a point guard to control the game. I remember, and of course my example is a point guard, but Chris Paul, those fourth quarter minutes when Devin Booker was considered the closer, they started saying, okay, well, who else can do this in closing time? Like when Booker's off the floor, who can we give the ball to? And they just said, give it to CP3 and he'll close this game. This will work out. Like he's going to be able to pass that baton. And those DeMar DeRozan, he's going to be this microwave where you can just hand him the ball and say, go out and get me 12. And then until Jokic is back. Klay, like Draymond said, this isn't 2017 Klay. He's still going to be impactful. He's going to go corner, make his threes. The role works. But as far as impact goes, there's no role more important than those non-Jokic Nuggets role.
I lied. I do have one more. Gary, we talked. You know, I'm a huge fan of your dad. Okay. The longevity, the statistics. Your dad was my son was at a Hawks game. The Hawks lost to Boston that night. My son was crying, and we were in the second row, and Gary was literally, I don't know, 10 seats over. And Gary looked over at my little son and started laughing his ass off that my son was crying that the Hawks were losing the game. And Gary and me made eye contact for a split second, and I was like my son's crying over here, and I'm like trying to stop laughing because your dad is laughing about it. It was just a cool moment, dude. But for my money, and I don't know if you baseball heads debate this, okay? For my money, Gary Sheffield Sr. has the coolest swing in Major League Baseball history. Nobody swung harder than your dad. Probably like Dave Winfield. Okay, Dave Winfield threw everything into the strike zone. Okay, like he attacked the baseball. For you old school heads like Dave Winfield, it was a machete in his hands, man. In Sheffield, he had the leg kick. He had it was. Do you talk about this as baseball heads? And he's your dad, but do you agree that Gary Sheffield Sr. has the coolest swing in baseball history?
Oh, the coolest swing. I'll give him the coolest stance. I'm gonna say coolest swing though. God, who would have the coolest? I'm gonna go Carlos Gonzalez. Those Colorado days. Yeah.
Great call.
I just don't know if I've seen a swing like that. And there's been a lot, obviously. And everyone's tried to be Ken Griffey Jr., especially the people.
I was about to say. I was just about to say that. I was about to say.
I love this. Yeah. I love this. Come on in here.
That almost made it better. The fact that you didn't swing lefty trying to be Ken Griffey Jr., it made it that much better. And then obviously people trying to be Ichiro and all that stuff. So yeah, and then another part of it, when you talk about Winfield and all those guys, a lot of times to swing hard, you need the body. Like you want the Aaron Judge 6'7", 240-pound. My dad wasn't the biggest guy in the world. So a lot of times it's just mechanics and just the bat waggle trying to get as much ferocity into the swing as you can. And I'm glad, obviously, people remember it in a good way, because there's probably nothing worse than playing 20 years in the sport and then people just forget about you.
So I will add this in terms of the two most violent swings I've ever seen in my life were your father and for Montreal Expos fans, Vlad Guerrero Sr.
There you go.
Yep. Two of the more violent swingers in baseball history for me are your father and Vlad Guerrero Sr. His son has a pretty violent swing as well, but Vlad just swung at everything. But once he made contact, he didn't care where it was in the zone. But if he made contact, that ball was going a million miles. So
I don't know how
it was fun to
the Hall of Fame with all the pitches he swung at, because I mean that's the first thing they right. And he didn't swing at strikes, and he's still in the Hall of Fame. It's crazy.
He had a pitch that bounced off the ground. I see that you based out of Arizona. Have you linked with Trey Griffey? You know Trey's out here, Ken's son. I didn't know if you guys had a relationship or anything.
No.
Okay.
No, I don't. I need it.
Yeah, I'm out here at AZ too, so I'm about to get your contact after we finish with this. So we appreciate you, dog.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely,
man.
Absolutely.
Dope, Gary.
It's too hot to be outside.
Hey, quick.
That's why I take this in the car.
Too hot.
So before we let you go, tell us about Yankees Unloaded, when and where people can hear it, and overall, how's the podcast doing? Because obviously we're out here rooting for you, man.
I really appreciate it. Yeah, the show's basically doubled in audience every year, which we're absolutely happy about. Because when you're talking to different people about what's to expect with the podcast and just what the plans are in terms of growth, you have something there. Everyone's been in the content creation space where growth is stalled and you're having to just believe in yourself and move it to another year. But it feels like with this project with Yankees Unloaded and my partner Jake, we finally found something that's really working for us. And we do a daily, nightly Yankees podcast, and highly recommend it if you're a baseball fan and you love the Yankees. We're not an analyst crew. We're going to bring occasionally some analytics into the mix, but we're not going to be the guys who say weighted runs created plus. People that watch the game, when I watch the game, we don't talk that talk. We'll look at it, but I'm not going to tell you someone's good because this stat sheet, this analytics spreadsheet told me he's good. I knew Ken Griffey Jr. was great by watching him, right? I know Brown off the bench for the Denver Nuggets was great before the analytics told me. So I wanted all this stuff to make sense, and I feel like Yankees Unloaded is a show that makes sense. So I really appreciate it, man. Thank you.
That's phenomenal. Let me present the other side of that. Okay, I like the analytics thing drives me batshit crazy. Okay, I rarely cuss on this show, but it was necessary right there. Christian Brown. Okay, Christian Brown's probably on the worst contract in the NBA. 5 years and $125 million for Christian Brown. Okay, the Nuggets hate the contract. It's ruined their offseason and frankly ruined their roster. You know why Christian Brown got 5 and 125? Gary, tell him. It's the A word.
Why? Because
analytics. He got paid because his net numbers with Jokic and blah 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 blah.
Oh, did they say it was plus minus with Jokic and all the yada yada?
100%.
He's a ratings darling. That's what he's a ratings darling.
Oh, beautiful.
125 over 5 years, and the team is like, we ruined ourselves with this. Anyway, random ass take. But Gary, you rock. We'll be watching Yankees Unloaded and can't wait for our next conversation.
Thank you, guys. I want to join soon.
Nice,
Let
Jeff.
me know.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
All right, Gary.
Absolutely.
Peace, man. Let's have him back on when the baseball playoffs get cooking up. Because we can talk about NBA and baseball with him. Okay, let's get back to our topic here. More impact, Clay in Miami or DeMar in Denver? Dwight has gone, and then three of us are left. He said Clay to Miami. Ashley, more impact, Clay to Miami or DeMar to Denver?
So I agree with a lot of what Gary said. Is DeMar's that type of guy that I think can make a huge impact when Jokic isn't on the floor, because he doesn't need Jokic to help create shots or manufacture them for him. I think an issue that Denver has had in the past is reliable secondary creation. And I think DeMar is going to be able to provide that off the bench. He averaged 18 points per game last year at 36, 37 years old. So there's no question he's still got it like that. And they basically got him for nothing. And then when you lose guys like Peyton Watson and you lose Tim Hardaway, you got to be able to fill that role, especially off the bench. So I think, to me, more impact, DeMar DeRozan. But you could make the argument of Clay. He creates, more shooting and spacing that they need. But I'm still going to go with DeMar because, again, when you take a look at Denver with Jokic and Murray on the floor, they're almost an unstoppable duo. But you got to give them rest. And that's something that I think played a huge role in the playoffs this year was rest. And I don't think Jokic got enough of it. So for the whole year. And he's getting beat up. Even though he's not getting every single call, like you take a look at this guy's arms. I mean, it scratches, bruises, all the things. So all over. And I don't think he nearly gets as many calls as he should. When you take a look at his arms in general. I mean, I've made this point several times across my social media platforms, is that I just don't think he gets the calls he deserves. But I think DeMar DeRozan is a great pickup for them, and I think he's going to be able to provide necessary scoring off the bench.
Okay, double D for Ash. Gary said double D. Dwight has said Clay. And what does B-Dot say? Clay to Miami or DeMar DeRozan to Denver? More impact. And get the innuendo out of your mouth, all right? Lost the innuendo.
No, you're being Ashley. We just had a little, So I'm going with DeMar. Yeah.
I was just saying that I wish I had a pair of those. That'd be great.
Okay. Well,
if we're talking about
they're available for purchase out there in Hollywood. I'm just saying. I don't know.
I'm in the perfect spot, but I don't got 10 grand to drop on, double D's. But I mean, I don't know. If any of y'all know anyone that can give me a discount, let me know. Have them be our sponsor of the show.
Next.
Since we talking about Double D and we bringing it to Denver, I gotta go with DeMar, the triple D, Denver, DeMar DeRozan. Okay, just because the Nuggets, they are, since we speak in analytics, they are a negative 2.9 points with Jokic off the floor. And they need, I think DeMar would just have a bigger role. He will have more opportunity to carry those Jokic-less minutes in terms of scoring, putting that ball in the hole and just, I don't even want to say spacing the floor, just putting that ball in the hole as much as he can until Jokic is able to get that, hopefully more than 2 to 3 minute rest. Hopefully they'll be able to rest Jokic a little bit more than those 2-3 minutes before they got to bring him back in the game. So I think DeMar, Clay is going to, Clay compared himself to Ray Allen joining the Heat. So, and Ray Allen didn't do much instead of just shoot the blood out the ball. And I think Clay will get better opportunities. One of my friends, he made a great stat. Clay played really well. He shot over 43% when Chris Middleton was added to that Dallas Mavericks roster. And when he played in those games with Chris Middleton, Clay actually shot the ball extremely well. It was more space on the floor, more opportunity. And with this squad right here, he's going to have nothing but opportunity. All he has to do is knock down those open jump shots and he'll be perfectly fine. But at the end of the day, I'm going with DeMar. DeMar having a bigger impact in Denver than Clay to Miami.
All right. So, by the way, Ashley, very well played with all of that. That was hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. So, Dwight, you are the only human who picked Klay Thompson, because my answer is DeMar DeRozan to Denver as well. You guys, Denver's second unit was burning trash before DeMar DeRozan got there. Here was their second unit pre-DeRozan. Marvin Bagley, Spencer Jones, Deron Holmes, Julian Strawther, Tyus Jones. Probably the worst bench in the league. I bet you Brooklyn has a better bench than that, okay? DeMar is going to be a one-man bench. He is my early favorite for sixth man of the year. I think DeMar DeRozan is going to average about 17, 18 and win sixth man of the year because he's going to be huge for Denver as they try to get to 4-3. I don't think they're going to get any higher than that. Think about it. If Christian Brown or Cam Johnson aren't getting it done, DeMar DeRozan time. If Aaron Gordon is injured, and don't get Dwight started on that, then DeMar DeRozan will start for Aaron Gordon. And right, Dwight? But we hope that Aaron Gordon's going to be healthy this year. There's going to be a lot of minutes for DeMar DeRozan. At least 28 minutes for DeMar DeRozan. And we know he's an availability guy. He's the Energizer Bunny. The guy's been, 18 years or whatever it is, plays every game, plays 30 to 35 minutes. And DeMar's going to be a perfect fit with Jokic. Why? Everybody is a perfect fit with Nikola Jokic, including Christian Brown. Yes, Christian Brown. All right. Now, Dwight, you are going first on this one. Look, I like Christian Brown at 3-30. That's all I got for Christian Brown. I got $10 million a year for Christian Brown. $25 million? Have you gone crazy out there? By the way, ever since they stripped down the Michael Malone and Calvin Booth thing and the Cronkies took over, look what's happened to this team, bro. I mean, outside of you, anyway. Let's move on. Enough of that. Dwight, I want to get you started here. Oh, Canada. So Canadian on Canadian here. We're talking Ben Mathurin. And I saw the Ben Mathurin contract, Dwight, and I felt bad for the young fella. He's going, I love New Orleans, don't get me wrong, but he's going from L.A. to New Orleans. I guarantee you he wanted more than $6.5 million a year. Okay. Mm-hmm. And to me, Dwight, the Clippers fired Ben Mathurin. When you look at the other guys that they brought in, literally, so that's the question. Why did the Clippers fire Ben Mathurin, who I thought was going to get like a 3-year, $45 million contract with the LA Clippers.
So, of course, this is a sensitive topic for me because he is here. He's from Montreal. I know Ben quite well. And going back to his years with the Indiana Pacers, he and Coach Rick Carlisle had a love-hate relationship. And that reputation has seemed to have followed him across the NBA. Now, we do understand that for the most part, this new collective bargaining agreement in regards to restricted free agents has made life difficult for those players to really get what they feel is their market value, especially if there's a reputation attached to it. Look at, case in point, look at what's happening to Jalen Duren right now in Detroit. Because of his playoff performance, now the Pistons are questioning, should we give this player what he thinks he deserves? Now, in regards to Ben is a terrific scorer. He's an athlete who could be an above-average defensive player if he puts his mind to it. The problem is he doesn't always put his mind to it. And that's what drives coaches and his reputations across the league as to where it is right now. Ben's going to score the basketball. He's one of the more talented basketball scorers that we have across the NBA. And I'm not just saying that because he's from Montreal North. It's just a fact. He can score the ball. But for the Clippers to offer him the $9 million, the qualifying offer that they did, and then to take it away, in essence, to your point, fire Ben Mathurin and allow him to go someplace else, and then for him to sign a 2-year, $13 million deal with the New Orleans Pelicans, besides the restricted free agency angle to this in terms of the collective bargaining agreement, I would think there's something else going on here. And I think Ben has to take a hard look in the mirror and understand it's a privilege to play in the NBA. And sometimes you have to play the game. Maybe you might not like it, but you have to play the political part of it to where you're this good teammate, this good citizen, whether that story, whether those narratives right now out there about him are true or not. Sometimes you got to play the game if you want to be compensated to what you think you deserve. And I think right now Ben is in that situation, that quandary, to where maybe his reputation is preceding him. And this is the unfortunate part of the financial side of things, to where maybe he needs to reprove himself across the NBA and then in a couple of years get the money he deserves. My concern for Ben, don't look at the New Orleans Pelicans as a place as to where this is going to be your team. I'm the best scorer. I'm the man. There are several players on that roster right now that feel that way. Just try to blend in, be a professional, use this situation to improve as a player and as a person. Be more mature, be more professional, and then things will go your way. Don't treat New Orleans as some stopgap to where you want to get your numbers. Be a good teammate, be a leader, be one of the mature players in this locker room, to where there are some young players that are still looking to find their niche across the landscape of the NBA as well. Don't go in there and rock the boat. Be a leader. Be a mature leader and continue to improve as a player, specifically in terms of making your teammates better and bringing the effort consistently on the defensive end.
It's an interesting move. Ben Mathurin going to the New Orleans Pelicans moves Jordan Poole at $31 million to the third string. You're not going to hear a peep out of Jordan Poole this year if the Pelicans stay healthy. All right, got to put a clock on me, Dot, and Ash for the rest of this segment right here. Dwight wanted to let you go and run free like a horse in a meadow in the mountains, okay? And you did, and you gave us great stuff. Dot, are you buying the reputation thing that Dwight was talking about with Mathurin? Do you think that's a thing? And why do you think the Clippers fired Ben Mathurin?
I think they fired him because I don't think that he couldn't play I think it's more role, roster direction, and contract flexibility. I mean, he averaged 17 and 5 in 26 games, but also when he only shot 20% from the three. And they overloaded in his position. And I I know Ben Mathurin wants to be the main character. He's a good player. He's a good player. And you bet on yourself. So I love the New Orleans trade because he's able to now, he goes one LA to a different LA, but at least with a little bit more range. And he's able to he has more freedom. He has more freedom. So he'll be able to get off, score more, shoot the ball more, because like Dwight said, he is one of the most talented scorers we have in our league. And I'm glad that he did get that stint with the Clippers to prove and show them, hey, I can do this with limited minutes and limited games. So, hey, you fired me, but you gave me another opportunity to do what I need to do somewhere else. So, yeah, I'm definitely believing the narrative. I understand it, but I think it's for good reasons.
Shout out to New Orleans, by the way. I love it down there. Shout out to the Soul Rebels. Phenomenal band. They're a worldwide touring band. You know the Soul Rebels, right? They rock, man.
Yeah.
Went to one of their shows there. I mean, it's horns on ba 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 ba. It's horns on horns on horns, man. It's so fun.
New Orleans.
All right.
New Orleans.
It's New Orleans.
So New
right.
Orleans,
New
right?
Orleans.
Oh, I love the food, the music. Ash, why did the Clippers fire Ben Mathurin?
So I don't think they necessarily fired him. I think from what I read, his camp went to them and told them to withdraw that qualifying offer to allow him to go elsewhere. And because of what B-Dot said, they really overloaded that backcourt wing rotation to where maybe he just saw there's not a lot of room for me here, right? I mean, you have Max Strus, you have Beal, you have Keaton Wagler, Darius Garland. So I think Ben and his team were like, I'm not going to get the minutes I want. Let's go find a team where maybe I could actually play in my role. And I think the Pelicans are a good fit for that. But now my question is, he's 24 years old, former number 6 overall pick. He averaged 17 points last season. Yeah, we could talk about his 3-point shooting, not great. Why did they not get anything in return? I think they could have at least gotten some type of an asset back, but to just let a guy go who does have a lot of potential, he's still so young. You got what we talked about earlier, letting guys play through their mistakes. So I don't think necessarily it was about firing. I think it was more of a mutual decision to where the Clippers were like, we're already overloaded here. And I think Ben saw that and said, hey, let's withdraw that qualifying offer and let me walk. But I don't know why the Clippers didn't get much in return.
Ash, love you, but here's why I think he did get fired. The Clippers made a series of decisions that excluded Ben from their plans. Why did you have to get involved with that big trade and bring Max Strus into your program? You didn't have to do that. Why did you re-sign Bradley Beal? Why?
That's
He's going to
one.
play 18 games. Why? Like, it's moronic. Okay, so this is GM malpractice to me. Look, the Clips are going to clip. The Clippers are the Jets of the NBA. They're always going to suck. They're never going to figure it out. Ballmer's never winning a ring with the red, white, and blue. You can't run and hide from your history. This is on-brand roster mismanagement by the LA Clippers. Think about it. Who would you rather have, Max Strus or Ben Mathurin? I'd rather have Ben Mathurin, and at way less money, okay? Mathurin was the leading scorer for the Clippers in their play-in tournament loss to the Golden State Warriors. He had 23 points. Kawhi and Garland each had 21. Ben Mathurin led them in scoring in that game. 24-year-old walking bucket, 16 points per game over 28 minutes for his 4-year career. That's an elite point per minute ratio. I could go on, but I do think the Clippers fired him, and I think that was a big mistake by the LA Clippers. Bradley Beal? Are you serious, bro? It is not 2019 around here, okay? All right, it is rant time, and my rant this week, if I could ever find it, is about, where is my rant? Here it is. Media members who are bored off their asses right now. And that's not us. It's not us. We're never bored. We're always bringing you heat and bangers. There are some media members who are speculating that Luka might ask for a trade from the Lakers as soon as next summer. Does that sound logical, reasonable to anybody? It sounds like garbage to me. Laker Collective podcast warns the team's messy ownership situation could put the franchise 1 year away from serious Luka Doncic trade concerns if the front office fails to build a stable contender. ESPN's Tim McMahon. Rival teams are closely monitoring the situation. That's not a hot take, dude. Noting that Doncic's extension is not an ultra long-term lockdown and that discontent could brew if the season goes poorly. We have entered the twilight zone. This is garbage. You can flush all of this with you know what, okay? They're bored sports journalists looking for hot takes and clickbait, and I'm here to shoot down all of it. There's nothing to see here. The Laker ownership saga is weird, it's interesting, and it has nothing to do with Luka Doncic. I promise you, and I will die on this hill, Luka Doncic could not give a damn about who the Lakers owner is. I promise you that. I guarantee it. I will die on that hill. The LA Lakers are the destination. They're not a destination. They are the destination. You don't get to the Lakers as their main guy and ask out 2 years later. Now, how it works. It's never happened, and it never will happen. Kobe stayed in LA through some dreadful seasons, right? LeBron, 8-year run in LA. Were they all banner years? No. Did he ask out? No. He was in LA. Probably didn't want to leave LA. They fired LeBron. Remember? Luka fired LeBron. Okay? Luka's going to be a Laker for at least the next decade, probably the rest of his career. Don't listen to any of this garbage, okay? Focus on what they're saying about the Laker ownership saga, but not the extrapolation all the way down to Luka Doncic. It's garbage, and we're moving on. All right, let's go to Ashley Neville right here for her rant. What you got?
I don't know if it's really a rant, but I mean, Draymond Green, of course, is just always making comments and statements and talking about Klay Thompson to the Heat and how no one should be expecting 2017 Klay. I don't think anyone really was, but who says he can't have a breakout year with Miami? Why are you trying to downplay everything he's done in his career? Who says he can't, return to that form? I mean, I don't know. But at the same time, no one was thinking that. And now I think he's adding more unnecessary pressure to Klay and adding just more fuel to the fire there. So I just think sometimes Draymond just says things for clicks, for views, because no one was saying, oh, look at Miami. They're getting 2017 Klay again. Until now, Draymond Green mentions it. And now that's going to be the talk and the topics and of conversation. And basically, if he doesn't hit that, it's going to be considered a failure. So Draymond's the one that's drawing attention to this. No one thought this, and now I think he's giving it more attention than it deserves. So Draymond Green, give it a break. I'm just so sick of him sometimes. Really.
Wait, whoa. Hold on a second. Draymond Green stated the obvious about something? No
right?
way.
Wow.
No way.
And like everyone's
so
posting
wise.
It everywhere. Everyone's posting it everywhere as if it's some groundbreaking rules or groundbreaking news.
So it's Jason, our producer, and I talk about this a lot. Like, because we exchange ideas, and he'll be like, did you hear what Draymond said this? I said, yeah, I saw it, and it's garbage, and I don't want to do anything with it. Like, it's just he throws you-know-what against the wall, and I'll just stop. I'm in a good mood. All right, B-Dot brings us home. Let's go to Dwight Walton here, and then B-Dot will put the cherry on top. Dwight, what you got?
This is my weekly WNBA rant. I'm going to continue to be on this train. I posted this week my famous picture that was taken several years ago to where I'm like, how can anybody have Asia Wilson as the WNBA's most valuable player?
Are you campaigning for office right now? Are you trying to be the mayor of Montreal right now? This is unbelievable, dude. This is unreal. Every single show, he is campaigning. Are you somehow related to Olivia Miles or a distant family member here? What's up?
No, I am not. And Gary Sheffield Jr. said it when he was on with us about a half hour ago, when stating that the most valuable player isn't necessarily the best player. In regards to the Cubs, it's PCA. You take PCA off that roster, they don't win. Now, I understand that the Minnesota Lynx have a great roster, but the reality is their best player and MVP candidate, Nafisa Collier, has only played 11 games this season. And here's how I know that the Asia Wilson fans out there are threatened by my campaign and others who are saying that Olivia Miles is the WNBA's MVP. Olivia Miles scored 8 points in a loss to the Golden State Valkyries this past Monday night. And everybody was basically celebrating that fact for the Golden State Valkyries, who, by the way, are 8-2 in their last 10 games, have held their last 8 opponents to under 80 points. That's got to be some kind of record in the WNBA. They are that good and are legitimate championship contenders this season in their second year of existence. So it's no crime for Olivia Miles to be held to 8 points against the best defensive team in the WNBA. But that just tells me that the fans are starting to recognize that this MVP season this MVP race is a lot closer than people want to give it credit for. And Olivia Miles has allowed the Lynx to be the best team in the WNBA this entire season without their best player. Yes, the Lynx are now 9-2 with Nafisa Collier in the lineup. All right. But the reality is Olivia Miles has been there for the entire season. She's allowed Cheryl Reeve, Kayla McBride, Nafisa Collier, and the rest of that Lynx lineup to be the clear best team right now in the W. And as far as I'm concerned, the favorites going into the playoffs to win the championship this year. And that, for me, is a case closed argument. Olivia Miles is the WNBA's most valuable player for this season. She should be the unanimous Rookie of the Year choice, but to me, she will win MVP as well and be the second player to do so next to Hall of Famer Candace Parker.
Great job, my friend. I just want to quickly tag this. Keep your eye out for a possible playoff matchup between the Indiana Fever, historically awesome offense, and the Golden State Valkyries, historically awesome defense. They say styles make fights, right? It could happen. It's not the way it's stacked up right now. GSV is 2, Indiana is 5. But what if like GSV falls to 3 and Indiana falls to 6, 3-6, they meet, right? So it definitely could happen. Just wanted to throw that possibility out there. B-Dot, bring us home, my man.
First off, I want to give a shout out to the Golden State Valkyries for finally being in Minnesota. They were 0-9 in their whole organization before beating Minnesota. Veronica Burton put on a hell of a show against Olivia Miles, and I think they found the Achilles heel of the Minnesota Lynx. Be rough with them because they held them to 25 points in the first half. Olivia Miles sold my ticket. She sold her and Nafisa Collier sold my parlay. But the shot making was crazy, and they were on the road. So I just want to give credit. And if Minnesota would have won that night, they would have clinched the number 1 spot. So they also beat them, and for that also. So, but I want to keep it WNBA. I got to give credit where it's due. Now the WNBA, the technical foul rule. You might have accidentally unlocked the best version of Caitlin Clark we've ever seen, okay? You get 8 technicals. You got to sit a game, and Caitlin is sitting right there at 7. She had 8, but they end up rescinding it. And ever since she got that close to the line, I don't know if I'm tripping, or has she been playing basketball? Because that's all I've been asking for. Caitlin is too damn good for us to spend half the game watching her arguing with refs, throwing her hands up, looking for a whistle after every drive, and having a conversation with an official while everybody's running back on defense. And listen, she still complains. She still flops at times. She's Caitlin Clark. But I don't want her to lose the fire and emotion that makes her who she is. But it's less. And you know what we're getting because of it? We're getting to watch a great basketball player play great basketball. She's hooping. She's making crazy passes, hitting threes. She's controlling the game. She's competing. And I actually think having that suspension sitting over her head has forced her to figure something out that every superstar eventually has to learn. You got to pick your battles. Every missed call doesn't require a TED talk with the referee. Every time somebody touches you, you don't have to audition for like you're auditioning for Law and Order. Sometimes they miss the damn call. Get back on defense, okay? This ain't even me hating on Caitlin. It's the complete opposite. I want to watch Caitlin Clark. That's why I'm happy about it. The complaining was starting to distract from how special she actually is. So maybe that 8 technical suspicion rule is doing exactly what the rules are supposed to do. It's not taking her passion away. It's making her control it. And this is the version of Caitlin Clark we get to see because she's scared to miss a game. WNBA, keep that damn rule in there, okay? Matter of fact, change it down to only 5 technicals because Caitlin Clark arguing with the refs is just entertaining for Twitter. Caitlin just hooping, that's good for basketball. That's my rant right there.
Beautifully done. You can copy and paste every single thing you just said and change the name out Caitlin Clark and put in Luka.
For Luka Doncic.
Every single word you just said. Every single word, including the thes and ands. Copy and paste. And I applaud it. I've been complaining about Luka and the refs since the NBA radio days with Antonio. Like 5 years I've been complaining about this. Anyway, I love you guys. Absolutely brilliant job. As always, shout out to Ashley. Shout out to B-Dot. Shout out to Dwight. They friggin' rock, okay? You guys know that. Shout out to our tremendous guest, Gary Sheffield Jr. Check out his podcast, Yankees Unloaded. Big shout out to Jason and Kai behind the glass. And all of you, we love you, okay? We will see you next Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time with the next edition of Beyond the Surface on the X-Rated Sports Network. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Remember the name.